What is going on, Fit Fam? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan Janice, the founder of Nomadic Fitness, and I teach you ladies how to eat way more food without any restrictions and work out smarter instead of harder so you can build a beautiful, sculpted hourglass body that you feel amazing in and stay this way for life year-round. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and if you're coming on back, thanks so much for joining for another video. Okay, fam, today we're gonna talk about my favorite topic ever, which is that you need to eat more food, not only just to feel better, but also it's going to help you build that dream hourglass sculpted feminine body that most of us ladies are definitely trying to get. So in this video, I'm gonna walk through 6 reasons why eating more food instead of constantly doing all this low calorie, low carb, dieting in general, trying to take out certain food groups and just being miserable, why you gotta stop doing all of that, and why you need to be feeding your body a lot of food to look and feel the way that you want to. So let's get into what those 6 reasons are. Okay, the first reason why eating more food is actually going to help you get a fitter body that you also feel great in is because your body adapts and starts burning more calories when you eat more food consistently. So in order to understand how this works, we have to understand how our bodies actually burn calories in the first place. And the total amount of calories that you burn every single day is called your total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE for short. So there are 4 sources that contribute to your daily calorie burn. The first, and by far the biggest, is your metabolism. That is 70% of all of the calories you burn every single day. So this is literally just the amount of fuel, aka calories, it costs your body to keep you alive, to keep blood pumping through your veins, to keep you breathing oxygen, your brain thinking. All of this stuff costs your body calories. So even if you literally laid in bed, you didn't move at all, you would still be burning this 70% of calories. Metabolism is 70% of your total daily energy expenditure, but there are 3 other sources. The next biggest one is what's called your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT for short, and that accounts for 15% of your daily calorie burn. So this is essentially all movement throughout the day that isn't actual exercise. So whether that's walking, moving and fidgeting like I am right now, picking things up off the ground, standing up, etc., all of that adds up throughout the day and ends up burning calories. Then the next biggest contributing factor is your TEF, or the thermic effect of food, which is a fancy way of saying your digestion, the amount of calories that your body burns digesting food throughout the day, which accounts for 10% of all the calories you burn every day. And then the final, most feeble amount of calorie burn in your total daily energy expenditure is your actual exercise, which is called your EAT, exercise activity thermogenesis, which is only 5% of all the calories you burn. So when we understand your TDE and we see where the calories burnt every day are actually coming from, it really makes us understand why trying to just do a whole bunch of exercise to burn as many calories as possible is really not effective at all. And in fact, people who do attempt that way of getting fit, just keeping their calories super low and then doing a ton of exercise, especially cardio, to burn more calories, obviously those people don't usually have these really great physiques that we want, and they certainly aren't maintaining it, especially in an enjoyable way. So here is the thing, your body is so smart, and your body's #1 priority is to keep you alive and to keep everything working as well as it can. So when you are constantly trying to eat very low calorie, constantly trying to diet, your body adapts and thinks, okay, this means that there is not enough food. We are literally having to go into survival mode because there's not enough resources in the outside world, because your body doesn't realize that there actually is enough food. You're just choosing not to eat it. Your body literally thinks, okay, there's a famine. We need to survive. So what happens? All 4 sources of your TDEE adapt and start burning fewer and fewer calories. So your metabolism will adapt. You'll start burning less and less calories. Your body's gonna try to stop spending as many calories on its bodily functions, one of those being digestion. So this is also why a lot of women who are not eating enough food often are very bloated and have a lot of digestion issues. One of my clients, Rebecca, was a perfect example of this. She thought she was eating a lot of food before we started working together, but really she was just eating a lot of fats and pretty much no carbs at all, because she thought, you know, carbs were the enemy, because of course she had heard that her whole life. And then she was always bloated, always really uncomfortable. And then just within 2 months of us working together, she got super lean, super toned the way that she had always wanted, and she had to eat so much more food to do that. I got her way over 2,000 calories a day, with the vast majority of that coming from carbs, and then her bloating went away. And that is because you have to think that since we know digestion costs your body calories, it costs your body energy to properly digest food, if you are not feeding your body that much food in the first place, your body is going to slow down and stop spending as much much energy on bodily functions like digestion, especially because really thoroughly digesting your food is not the number one concern for your body. Keeping you alive in general is. So it's not going to spend as many resources on digestion, meaning that you are slow, sluggish, and bloated. You're also going to feel slow and sluggish because obviously your metabolism in general has slowed down, so you're not really expending that much energy and your body is tired. But the amazing thing is that your body will also adapt the other way, which very few people really understand. We always just think, okay, cut calories, diet to lose weight, but then we don't realize that all that's happening is your body is adapting and now not burning as many calories. Versus when you consistently feed your body enough food, your body also will adapt to that. Your metabolism will pick up, so you'll start burning more energy. You're gonna have more energy even for your actual workout and for things like walking, fidgeting, little things like this. So that's gonna add up throughout your day. And of course, when you're eating more food, you're gonna be digesting more food. Your body's gonna have the energy to do it well. So you're also gonna be burning more calories from that. So how do you go from being somebody who's not eating enough food, and in my opinion, that is any less than 2,000 calories a day minimum as a woman, unless you are deep in a fat loss phase. If you have gone through a proper strategic fat loss phase and you're getting towards the end and you're below 2,000 calories a day for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple months at max, that's different. But if you are just somebody who is just consistently stuck at less than 2,000 calories a day, which unfortunately describes a huge percentage of the population, you definitely need to increase that. So the way that you do that is called reverse dieting. So literally the inverse of a diet where you're constantly decreasing your calories all the time. Reverse dieting is where you are gradually increasing your calories so that your body will adapt, you'll have more energy, and your calorie burn is going to be higher, and you're also going to be able to build more muscle, which we're going to get into in a moment. So the way to reverse diet is to, number one, set proper macro targets based on the amount of food that you are already eating. So making sure that you're getting enough protein, a moderate amount of fats, not way overeating them, because when we eat too much dietary fat, that will convert to too much body fat on our body. And then definitely making sure you're getting plenty of carbs, and under eating carbs is the main thing that I see women getting wrong. So setting the right macros and then slowly but surely gradually increasing your calories from there. The kind of golden standard of what exactly it should look like to do a reverse diet is increasing somewhere between 50 to 100 calories every 1 to 2 weeks. Now this depends on how your body is responding, because everybody is totally different. And I made an entire video that walks you through exactly how to set your macros and then how to reverse diet so you can burn more calories 24/7 on autopilot in this video here. So click there to check it out. And then the last thing to do to reverse diet properly, technically you don't have to do this, but I would really encourage it so that you can also build muscle, is strength train or lift weights or do some sort of resistance training, even if it's body weight workouts at home, but something where you are putting resistance on your muscles so that they will have a stimulus to actually grow. The best way to do that is lifting weights. And remember, getting more muscle on your body is what is going to make you toned and lean and defined, which is what you actually want, not just to be skinnier, not just to weigh less. Okay, the second reason why eating more food is going to help you get a fitter, sexier body that you also feel better in is because you are going to be able to build more muscle, which is what I was just talking about. It's so important to realize that you don't actually care about weighing a certain amount. You care about where the weight comes from, which is called body composition. Literally, what is your body composed of? How much of your body is coming from body fat and how much of it is coming from muscle? That's really the only things you can actually control. You can't control how your bone structure is. And obviously there's other things like water weight and gut weight from the food that we eat. But the main things that you can either add more of or get rid of is muscle and fat. The thing is, you are not going to be able to build muscle if you are barely eating. Muscle requires an excess amount of calories to be created in the first place. You need to be eating a little bit above what your maintenance is, so in a slight calorie surplus to really be able to gain muscle. So that is one of the biggest reasons why you should want to eat plenty of food, especially protein and lots of carbs. Protein and carbs are the main food sources that are going to help you build more muscle, and that is why you need to be eating a lot of them. So again, if you don't know how much you should be eating right now based on what your body is currently like and where it is that you want to be, make sure to check out the video I referenced before. I'm going to link it in the description so you can set your macros, know how to increase your calories, and just know when and how to increase or decrease to reach your goals. And then the last point about why you actually want to gain more muscle is, although of course muscle is the thing that's going to make you look sexy, make you look toned, and obviously make you feel strong and healthy the way that you want, one of the biggest benefits of all to having more muscle is that muscle helps you burn more calories 24/7 on autopilot. The more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism will be. And we learned that metabolism is 70% of your total daily calorie burn, even even if you're literally doing nothing. So this is why the goal of your workouts should not be to burn as many calories as you can. It's literally such a small amount of calories, it really doesn't matter. The goal of your workouts should be to be building more muscle. So you want to train to put a stimulus on your muscles, and then you want to eat to fuel that muscle gain. So your muscles are going to grow bigger and stronger than they were before, which is going to make you look better, and it's going to make it easier for you to sustain this because your metabolism is going to be faster. It's such a win-win all around. Okay, so talking about building more muscle and how amazing this is for your body, not only for looking great, but also for speeding up your metabolism and balancing your hormones. This brings us to the third reason why eating more food is going to actually help you get a fitter body that you feel amazing in. And that's because when you eat more food, you're going to be able to perform better in your training, aka your workouts. So think about it. Maybe some of you have sadly experienced this where you really haven't been eating that much, but then you're still making your body do a ton of exercise. You probably felt so exhausted, so miserable, couldn't really do anything, had no energy, so much brain fog. Think about it. It's because when you're trying to make your body do a whole bunch, but you're not giving it any fuel to work with, you're not gonna really feel good, obviously, and you're not even gonna be able to do that much in the workout itself. It's literally like you're trying to drive a car when the fuel tank is empty. It's the exact same thing with your body. So when you are filling up that fuel tank, when you're giving it good quality food, giving plenty of it, you're gonna be able to do way more in your workouts. And the main food in particular that you should be eating plenty of to do better quality workouts is carbs. And again, this is where women get so confused because obviously we have been lied to for the last couple of decades with this whole low carb phobia, but actually that's because we've been told something that is not educating us about muscle gain. It's just been trying to tell us this is how you lose weight on the scale, but that's missing the forest for the trees because we know that we don't just want to weigh less on the scale. We don't want to just be skinny, fat, and shapeless. We want to have a toned, shapely, firm body that also feels really good, and that is going to come from putting on muscle. But you're not going to be able to gain muscle if you're not feeding your body the primary source of fuel that it is going to use for the workouts, and that is carbs, and lots of them. So when you are eating plenty, you're going to be able to push yourself harder in your workouts. And this doesn't mean that you have to work out so much, so long, so crazy, brutally hard. In fact, you really don't have to work out that much, and that's why I also say work out less, because honestly, it is less than what so many people think that they need to do, but it's more about making it count. When you do go to train, when you do go to lift those weights, give it your all. Give every single rep, all your focus, all your attention, really, really train very close to failure, meaning you couldn't do a single more rep because that is how hard you push that muscle. So you're gonna be able to do that way more effectively when you are actually eating enough to be able to have the energy to do so. And that is ultimately gonna translate into you gaining way more muscle, which means you're gonna be looking way better. And of course, it's also gonna be speeding up your metabolism, so you're once again burning more calories all of the time. Okay, the fourth reason why more food is going to help you look and feel the way that you actually want to is also because more food means you're gonna be able to recover better from the workouts that you do. So I was just explaining that if we wanna gain muscle, we obviously have to really get the most out of the workouts that we are doing. We have to really push our muscles to the absolute max, really overload them with a stimulus, and that is going to signal to your body, okay, this girl wants us to build some muscle, so we better get with it. But if you're not eating enough food to actually recover from those workouts with, you're not going to be building any muscle. So some of you may feel very, very sore right now after you train, and obviously some of the time, yes, you're gonna get a little sore from working out, and it does mean that you pushed your muscles hard. But if you find that you are constantly sore, it probably has a lot to do with the fact that you're not feeding yourself enough to recover from the workouts that you're doing, especially protein and carbs. You need to eat protein after you work out because obviously the reason you get sore from a workout is because you have torn the muscle fibers at the microscopic level. So that's what's creating that soreness. So protein is the building block of muscle. So when you eat more protein, it's gonna go to those tiny little muscle fibers. That way they're gonna heal and repair, grow back bigger and stronger than they were before. And then the reason you also need to eat a lot of carbs, both before and after your workout, is because, well, before your workout, it's gonna give you the energy to train. And then after you work out, it's going to replenish your energy stores, which is called glycogen, the energy form we get from carbohydrates that gets stored inside of our muscles. So after you're done training, you've depleted your glycogen stores. So you will see that if you train hard and then afterwards you don't eat plenty of carbohydrates, you're gonna get very hungry again really fast because your body's gonna be like, hello, where are those glycogen stores? You depleted it, we need more now. So when you are eating plenty of food, you're gonna be way less sore, you're gonna be able to recover well from your workouts, and it's the recovery that is going to ultimately build the muscle that you want to see. The fifth second reason why eating more food is going to ultimately get you the results you really want is also because, of course, if you're able to eat more, it's going to make food way more enjoyable, and that is going to make it sustainable, which is what actually matters. We got to get away from this idea of, okay, I'll do a really extreme diet, lose a bunch of weight on the scale, but of course a bunch of that weight loss is actually going to be muscle loss, so you're not going to look the way that you actually want to look, and you're going to feel like garbage, obviously. Okay, sure, you can do that yo-yoing, you can lose a whole bunch of weight really quickly, but can you sustain it? Because the only way you're going to sustain your results is if you actually are doing something that is sustainable. Because as soon as you change whatever it is that you did to get those results, you're going to start to have different results. So in order to be able to stay lean, toned, looking amazing, feeling amazing all of the time, year round, you need to make sure that the way you eat is something you actually enjoy and it's something that you can always do. Now, obviously, if you're here or there, you can go on vacation, you can go out a little bit for the weekend. It's not really going to make a big difference, but as a relatively consistent way of being, you need to have a way of eating that you actually enjoy. And when you eat plenty of food, 2,000, 2,500 calories, in some cases, maybe even 3,000 calories a day, that is a lot of food, okay? In fact, if anything, and I always joke about this with my clients because so many clients come to me really under eating, even if they have a lot of weight to lose, just because you're under eating doesn't mean that you're skinny now. There's a lot of people who have a lot of fat that they want to lose, but they're still under eating. So those people definitely need to reverse diet. They need to increase their calories gradually to be able to see that fat loss happen, which is something I do with clients all of the time. So I always joke with my clients that, their new problem is not going to be, oh, how can I eat so little, which is their old way of thinking. Their new problem is going to be, how can I possibly eat this much? It is so much food. But it is kind of a fun, creative challenge because literally your whole perspective on food completely changes. Now you're going to start thinking, okay, I guess I'm going to have to eat 2 bagels today. I'm going to have to eat a big stack of pancakes in the morning. I'm going to have maybe an extra bowl of cereal. I'm going to have to eat a bunch of tacos for dinner. It honestly makes it way more fun. You get to enjoy your food so much more. Nothing is off limits. It's all just about making it fit in with your macros. And so because of that, you will actually continue to eat this way because you feel good, you don't feel deprived, you have lots of energy, and ultimately that means you're going to have year-round results. And then the sixth and final reason that eating more food is going to help you actually look and feel the way that you really want to is because alongside the last point I just said, it's also going to make it easier for you to have balance in your life. So obviously when you are eating a lot of food, your body is adapted to burning a lot of calories, you have all this great muscle on your body, then it is going to be pretty easy for you to take time away, to be able to go on vacation, to be able to go out to eat with your friends, splurge a little bit on the foods that you really like, have a few drinks, whatever it may be, and still maintain your results. Because if your body's adapted to burning 2,000, 2,500 calories or even more per day, it's pretty easy for you to go have a meal out that might be really high calorie, but because you're used to eating so many calories, it's not going to make any difference. So this makes it really easy and really sustainable for you to be able to enjoy life with your friends and actually make this a real lifestyle. As opposed to obviously when you're doing these really low calorie, really restrictive, miserable diets, obviously you literally just can't eat out at all. If you have even one little thing off, you're going to completely blow the whole thing. You're probably going to gain back a bunch of weight on the scale, and then you're going to think, oh my gosh, I just ruined everything. So it's obviously so restrictive, so unsustainable, and so unrealistic, and it doesn't even work anyways because it's not helping you build muscle, which is what you actually want. All right, fam, so those are the 6 reasons why eating more food is actually how you are going to look and feel the way that you truly want to. So we got to ditch the low calorie, restrictive, low carb nonsense. That is not the way to go. Eating plenty of food to nourish and strengthen your body, to actually build your body, is what you want to do. So thanks so much for checking out this video. Now here in this next video, I'm going to walk you through the different roles protein, fats, and carbs play, our 3 macros, why you need all 3, how much to have of each. So go ahead and check out that video to start getting amazing results.